Hey, what's up everyone, it's Weston here. So I'm doing this little video a little bit differently, and I'm actually using the Wileyfox Swift to record this introduction. So what you're seeing and hearing now is the Wileyfox Swift's front facing camera. So all the audio and video, what you are seeing is direct from the camera. I'm not going to edit it whatsoever. So whatever you're hearing and seeing is straight from the camera. So let me know what you think and let's proceed with the review. So now we get onto the design, and the earpiece up top is sort of reminiscent of the Nexus 5 with its circular design. You've also got your front facing camera and all your sensors up top. In the middle you've got a very standard now 5-inch display, so this is covered in Gorilla Glass 3, so that'll mean it'll give you extra protection whilst it's in your pocket and obviously from any scratches and stuff like that. So at the right side of the phone you've got your volume rocker and power switch. So these are just finished off in black and look pretty plain and simple, to be honest. At the bottom right hand corner you've got a small notch just to remove the back cover. At the very bottom of the phone you've got your microphone, USB port and speaker. So it is only one speaker and not dual speakers, but they have kept it obviously that same design for symmetry. So up top we've got your 3.5mm jack and secondary microphone. So at this side of the device you can actually see it's sort of a sandwich design. So you've got the rear cover, a small band all the way around the phone in the middle, and then your glass at the front. So not only does this add sort of a bit of rigidity to the phone, it also is a nice design feature as well. So around the back we've got the Wileyfox logo finished off in sort of a bronzy orange colour, which I think looks very nice against the sandstone. In the middle you've got the emblem, so I just think this is really nice and it looks much nicer than other brand implementations I've seen before. Up top you've got your flash and your camera sensor, and I love the little accent around the camera ring. I just think it looks really nice and just ties in with the whole theme. So in the hand the phone measures in at 141mm tall by 71mm wide by 9.4mm thick, and it weighs in at 135 gram. So in the hand it feels really nice. I love the sandstone and how that feels in the hand. It gives a nice amount of grip and it just feels really nice. So you're not going to probably need to put any cases or skins on it or anything like that. One-handed use is very, very easy. I don't have the biggest of hands, but I found using it one-handed was very, very easy. I didn't have to do any awkward hand gymnastics or anything like that to use the phone one-handed. And like I said, even though I don't have the biggest hands, I found it very, very easy to use. So now we get to build quality, and we're going to start with the back first, and like I've already mentioned, it has a sandstone finish and it just feels very nice. It's a little bit rough, but I quite like that. It just, like I said, gives a bit of grip and it just feels very nice and quite premium feeling actually for the price of the phone. Even the buttons have a nice sort of tactile feel to them and they don't feel too mushy. But overall the build quality is very impressive. I can't falter it. And considering this is a first device from Wileyfox, the build quality is something you'd expect from a brand that's been in this game for years. So I've got no complaints in regards to build quality whatsoever. So next up we get to the display. So this is a 5-inch IPS panel with a resolution of 1280 by 720, giving you a PPI of 294. And like I've said already, it's got Gorilla Glass 3 for that extra protection. So the display is one of the nicest looking 720p's I've seen on a phone that I've tested to date. So you can see viewing angles are fantastic. With it being an IPS panel, you don't get any awkward, horrible colour shifting or any sort of discoloration when you're using it at sort of more extreme angles. And no matter where you use the phone, it just seems to produce colours and look really nice, like I said, at pretty much any angle. Getting closer up to the display and you can see the text looks very nice and crisp. There's no blockiness or rough edges around the text or the icons either, so they all look very nice, smooth and very crisp looking. Even going up closer into a macro, you can see there's no rough edges, and even looking very, very close up at the text, there's no horrible blockiness, and it just looks really nice and really clean, and like I said, really crisp. So now we get onto the whites and blacks. So the whites have a slight yellow hue to them. I'm not too fussed about that because it does give you a bit of eye strain relief. The blacks, however, though, are very deep and very inky, so you do get a really nice black. So in darker areas it is really, really dark. So now we get on to the actual colour display, and I think the colours are very nice. They don't quite have that same sort of pop as an AMOLED display, but for an IPS display I think the colours are really vibrant and they're really nice. They're not too oversaturated or too over contrasty, and they just have more of a natural look to them than they do an AMOLED screen. And personally, I actually prefer the more natural and sort of not subdued, but more like I said, natural looking and still vibrant display over the AMOLED, which just is too overblown in saturation and contrast. So now we get on to sort of the brightness, and you can see we're on minimum brightness there, and it is still very easy to see outdoors. Whack it up to 50% and you can see it's even easier to see. I mean, we are in a fairly dim area, but you can just see how bright the display is. Then going up to 100% brightness, you can just see it as a very, very bright display. Unfortunately, I don't have any way to test the actual brightness of it, but it is very, very bright and visible. So as you can see now, we're in a very, very bright direct sunlight. We've got the screen on 100% again, and you can just see it's very, very easy to see. So if you're in, like I said, direct sunlight, you're going to have no problems whatsoever. Indoors, you can probably get away with 15 to 40% depending on the amount of light. So now we get onto UI. So the Swift is running Cyanogen OS, so this is version 12.1, and this is based on Android 5.1.1, so one of the latest versions of Android. So you could see then that it is a very, very Android-like experience and not much has changed. The app drawer, however, is a vertical scrolling rather than a horizontal scroll, but I actually quite like that. And you can also see we've got a cool feature at the bottom where you can actually swipe the letters to actually quickly find your apps, which I think is really cool. But if you do like your stock like Android experience, in terms of visuals, not much has changed. But if you want to see how you can tweak this device even more and make it even more personal, then check out the video linked in the card in the corner, and that will just show you how to actually customize the device even further. But if you do like to keep things looking like stock Android, you're not going to be disappointed with the Swift, as it is basically a stock like Android experiences with all the Cyanogen perks on top of it, which I just think adds to the experience rather than takes away from it. So now we get onto performance, and I have to say I'm very impressed with the Swift for the money. So it's packing a Snapdragon 410 clocked at 1.2 GHz. It's got an Adreno 306 GPU and 2 GB RAM. So that means performance is very good. With it being a stock like Android experience, there's no bloatware or any sort of horrible skin slowing the phone down. So the experience is very, very smooth and very fluid. Switching through your apps and through the home screens and stuff like that is a breeze, and it just is buttery smooth. And I've had no sort of horrible lagginess or anything like that, or any delay. So you can see gaming is again very, very impressive and very smooth. So we've just got some footage from Asphalt 8 here, and you can see it's very, very impressive. So like I said, I have done a separate video showing the benchmark scores and further gaming, so if you want to check that out, that will be linked in the description as well, and that just gives you an even further idea of how this phone performs. But like I said, it's a very, very solid performing phone. So now we get onto multitasking, and I have noticed a little bit of an issue here. Now it's nothing to do with the performance, don't get me wrong, this phone performs like a champ for the money, and it's one of the best performing at multitasking I've seen. The only thing I have noticed is a little software issue with Cyanogen. And what happens is when you're swiping between apps, you can see when you're actually trying to swipe quickly, instead of it going straight down, it's actually wanting to swipe sideways to get rid of the app. Now, like I said, this isn't a performance issue, this is just a small issue with Cyanogen, but the performance is fantastic. Multitasking is brilliant. The 2 GB RAM really, really does help. And like I said, because it's not a heavy skin slowing it down, performance here is very, very quick. So now we get onto hardware. So the Swift is packing 2 SIM slots, so you can actually put 2 SIM cards in it. It's got 16 gig built-in storage, which is plenty, but you can expand that up to 32 gig via SD card. The phone also has a 2500 user removable battery, which is something that is becoming less and less common on phones these days. So to have a removable battery, in my opinion, is fantastic. So now we get onto actual battery performance itself, and you can see up top I've got 8% left, and that was with heavy social media, emailing, light video watching and light gaming, but that gave me a very respectable screen on time of 6 hours and 15 minutes. So the 2500 mAh battery really does perform well with a 720p display. So now using the phone even heavier, so we're talking more intense everything basically, longer gaming times, longer video watching, more social media and email and stuff like that. But that still gave me a screen on time of 4 hours 25 minutes, and it did see me through a full day with 8% left at the end of the day, ready to charge overnight. So around the back of the phone we've got your 13 megapixel rear camera. So this camera is actually made by Samsung, and we all know Samsung makes very good cameras. Then around the front we've got a 5 megapixel shooter. I'm not sure who actually makes that, but it is very impressive as well. So what we're going to do now is look at some photos. You can just see the front facing camera produces really nice photos, and I have done a separate video on that, so I will link that in the description if you want to see a more in-depth look at the camera. So you can see photos look very nice. Dynamic range is pretty impressive actually. Colours look very nice, they're nice and natural. They're not too overblown with saturation or contrast. And just colour accuracy is really nice as well to actually what you see. So now we get on to audio, and we're on the 3.5mm jack first, and it happens to be one of the best 3.5mm jacks I've ever heard regardless of price. Now the 3.5mm jack produces really nice audio, it's really good quality, it's really clean, it's really crisp, and it goes very loud as well. Not only that, but you do have some awesome software as well. So this is Audio Effects. So this gives you 24-bit high-res lossless audio, which is very impressive for a budget phone. Not only that, but you do have a 5-band EQ that you can tweak, or you can choose one of the preset options if you're not into tweaking your audio yourself, which I think is very impressive from a budget phone. So now we get onto the speaker, and it's not the best I've ever heard, and I have noticed it is very easy to cover up as well when you're using the phone in landscape. The quality though is not bad, it goes fairly loud and it's not too tinny, but don't expect too much here. But anyway, I'm going to give you a quick demo to let you know what the speaker sounds like. Right guys, so that is it for this video. So again, I'm recording with the Wileyfox Swift direct from the front camera, audio, everything unchanged whatsoever. So let me know in the comments what you think of this phone. Personally, I think it's fantastic. For the money, I mean, anything I've tested hasn't even come close to this phone in my opinion. The performance is fantastic, the design, the build, the camera is excellent, the audio quality, apart from the speaker which is not brilliant, but the audio through the headphone jack is fantastic as well. I just really can't fault this phone. I love the UI, I think it's fresh, and I think it's something a little bit different, even though it is sort of like Android as well, but it's got its few little quirks that make it unique, which I think is awesome. And for £130 you can't argue with that, and I don't think there's going to be anything yet that competes with this in my opinion. So let me know what you think of the Swift down in the comments. And again, this is footage direct from the Swift, no editing or anything like that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button for more videos coming soon. I've got some more phones, headphones and all that good stuff coming very soon. So subscribe for that. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Don't forget to share and all that good stuff if you thought this video was good. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the very next video.